call the cops on me. On a mission to be champs and stay let me free. Prepare for combat, my adversaries crumble. Face it, I got a reputation for damage. Busters get ready to rumble. They lock me in a cell, have me trapped in a living hell. Though not guilty, I'm still in jail. Brother, I serve my time like a soldier. Maintain composure. My shadow boxing the fight to the death, busting boulders. Every boxer with a pair of gloves. Best give up love. Here's a man from the makings of a thug. A lethal weapon, mind sharp. And in my heart, there's a wish to shake the world with the flurry of my black fist. Now once a high school dropout, now I'm the $1 million champ. Who's the next to get knocked out? Straight out of Brooklyn and worldwide.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon. This is the Cheap Seats Boxing Show. Half of the dynamic duo here, JP. And we missed a week. That's my fault. I apologize. We was almost gonna miss two. Thanks to how we working. So sorry about that. But I'm gonna cram two things into one. I'm gonna start with last week, and we're gonna move up. But this whole thing is gonna be titled Benavidez versus Crawford. Now here we go. Follow us on every platform. Twitter, YouTube, iTunes, iPatio, Stitcher, SoundCloud, Windows, Zoom. We never forgot you. What is it? It's 2 minutes. It's 2 minutes to count. I'm sorry, it's just 2 minutes to count. So let's get into the real talk. So we're gonna start first of all with Smith knocking out Groves. Now, good fight. Smith looked way bigger than Groves. If you saw the fight, he way bigger. I felt Groves was a better fighter, but it looked like he basically had too much nervous energy to the point where it cost him. All the fainting and fidgety motion seems like it was wearing him down because it wasn't doing anything. Because Smith was cool, man. He was calm. He was collected. He was picking his shots. He wasn't overextending himself. And it's kind of one of those situations where tactically you could say that in some ways Groves kind of backed up to make him reach, but Smith didn't. And then it caused Groves to reach. And, that's how it looked at times to me. But the other thing about it was he just ran into a better man that day, because the KO wasn't really that serious. I mean, it kind of looked like Smith was fighting a man on his last legs, and Groves was fighting for his life to a degree where he was just making moves that are a little bit more desperate than I would normally see from George Groves, because George Groves did not look comfortable at all, just at all. He just did not look comfortable. So in some ways it looked like he was done. Like when he took that shot, it's like, you know what, I just ain't got it in me no more. And maybe that's what it is, maybe it's not, I don't know. But at the moment, that's what it looked like. In that same time span, Linares KO'd Cotto, which I'm going to get back to Linares because of WBC orders. And Beterbiev KO'd Johnson. So I got to backtrack. So this is why we backtracking. The WBC orders mandatory fights for Triple G versus Charlo, Russell versus Santa Cruz, and Linares versus Broner. So that could be a good fight. I'm still trying to figure out how, the Broner one's going to happen. I don't know. But it is what it is. And it's just, Angelo was talking to me about the hypocrisy of the WBC. It's like, you see, when they want you to fight a mandatory, you got to. When they want to make some money, you don't have to, And that goes with the Canelo type situation, which I'm about to get into too, because we didn't get a chance to talk about that. Canelo moves to 168 to fight Rocky Fielding. I just kind of shook my head when I saw it. I was like, here we go with these shenanigans. I mean, in some ways, it's like typical. And in other ways, it's like, man, could y'all space out the BS y'all pulling? Like, why do you have to just do it back to back to back to back to back? Some people feel it's a great move. You know, he goes up to 168. Maybe he can capture a title at 168 with a guy that he's obviously better than, right? But here's my issue. Canelo and his weight stuff adds to his... Like, I've been saying this for some years now. Canelo's... He's wasting his prime with a lot of these political stunt moves. And I don't think ultimately, when it comes down to the end of his career, this is not gonna be very good for him. This is not gonna go well in the end for a few reasons, in my opinion. One, he was always used to fighting guys he was bigger than, or better than, or significantly younger than. You know, and people, you know, but when you're building up fighters, that happens. But this weight stuff, the 155 thing with Cotto, which Cotto brought that on himself. You know, he took it. You know, Canelo took advantage of it, and that's my issue with Canelo. He's a good fighter, but he keeps taking all of these shortcuts, and all these shortcuts don't end up to a great ending. But now he's going up to 168. The same fighter who couldn't make 154 had to fight 155. Won the 160 title at 155. You know, made fighters drain to fight him and give himself weight advantages. Got the title, gave up the title because, you know, we don't fight for belts. But then again, that's a lie. We fight for pride, but, you know, backed out of a fight. And it's like, okay, now I'm going to fight at 160. Okay. Gets popped for PEDs. Fights, I guess, one true fight at 160 now that he beat Golovkin, which he beat Golovkin. He took control of the fight. You can't take that away from him. That's what happened. But now he jumps up to 168 with the same body that couldn't, that wasn't big enough for 60 but couldn't make 54. Right. That's what we doing. And, you know, that's the same thing. They're going to put an asterisk by a lot of this stuff, even with Triple G. You duck them, you know, you put it off for a strategical advantage. You know, I'm not going to fight him this year. I'll fight him next year. Made him look old, though. Got to give him credit for that. He made him look old. But here's the problem. Oh, here's the major problem. You fighting Rocky Fielding. Right. Of all the fighters you could fight at 160, you jump to 168 to fight Rocky Fielding. Okay. Looks like, once again, you taking the easy way out. And, you know, some people are like, oh man, he's not. Yeah, yes he is. Yes he is. You know, like, just think about it in a long-term sense. I mean, are there other people that he could have fought? Absolutely. But is he gonna fight those people now? Absolutely not. So, what are we doing? Like, seriously, what are we doing? We're watching a fighter, you know, finesse his way through every division, basically. finesse his way out of fighting everybody that may actually be in their prime at the same time he is. I mean, Rocky freaking Fielding. He couldn't fight Benavidez which would have been a great fight because Benavidez got in trouble. So that is understandable. But I just want you to understand something. Billy Joe Saunders, he got in trouble. So that's another issue. That's out of his hands. But could he have fought Charlo? Yeah. Could he have fought Jacobs? Yeah. Did he want to fight Lemieux? I don't know. But that was at 160, right? Sergey Chinko. He could have fought him at 160. I can't say the first part of the name, so my apologies. But if you're going to go to 168, Darrell, DeGale, Grove Smith, right? I mean, Ramirez? But whatever. You fight the number 10 168 fighter. Okay, whatever. It is what it is. But to me, taking the easy way out. Ain't the first fighter to do it, ain't going to be the last. But I think he's destroying his prime. Because there's going to be a time he's going to be forced to fight a fighter in their prime. And it's going to be a do or die, sink or swim moment. And I'm not sure if he's prepared for that. That's just my opinion. Because he's not really doing that. People got to remember, he didn't even fight Floyd in his prime. So, and he fought Angulo, he drained him. Well, Lara was in his prime, but people, in my opinion, Lara beat him. Trout, that was a prime fight. I got to double back a little bit. Yeah, but the judges helped him. It's like, come on, man, what are we doing? Chavez Jr. That don't count. Kirkland is an asterisk because no Ann Wolf. It's just not a straight, fair fight at this particular point. But let's get off of Canelo and get back to the boxing. Inoue, whoa, that they call him a monster for a reason. If y'all didn't see what he did, just think about a 1-2 that lands crisp and good night. That's pretty much what happened. He's a monster, man. He doesn't get enough credit, but we give him all the credit in the world. Inoue, congratulations to you, man. You are definitely that dude. Oh yeah, I got to go back a little bit. Billy Joe Saunders vacates, we know that, but the nasal spray, and he said it was because of nasal spray. You know what? I'm gonna let y'all have that. Y'all can discuss if y'all think nasal spray can get you in trouble for performance enhancing drugs. I mean, if that's the case, why would you be taking nasal spray? See, a lot of this stuff keeps happening with these PEDs, and the excuses get ridiculous because these are things that people are saying to themselves, like, what? You already know, you should know this you should already know this beforehand. That you can't take this, you can't take that. The only person I give credit to who have always said, it is what it is, was when Brandon Rios got popped in China. He said he was eating and drinking stuff in China, and he's in a whole other place, doing a whole, reading stuff. He don't know that language, so they might have had stuff and he didn't know it. I give him that. That makes absolute sense. People go out of the country and wind up getting food poisoning, getting sick, and drinking stuff they shouldn't have drunk. It happens. Eating stuff that they trying and it has bad effects. It happens. But he's the only one. Everybody else is all suspect. It's all suspect. So, I'm not really buying it, but that's just me. Gotta talk about Big Baby's KO against Adamat. I mean, because then they're pushing for him to fight Anthony Joshua in April. So his knockout was a statement. You know, it was a statement fight, statement knockout. He did his thing. But everybody's bringing up to 317. He's 317 pounds. I don't know how that's going to work for him. Because he's not really quick on his feet. So fighting somebody like Joshua or Wilder is not in his favor because they can move. And no matter how long he feels like he can stalk, I mean, the question will be, can his chin hold up until he finally gets to these guys? And those guys are big punchers. So, and heavyweights are big guys. And I don't see Big Baby as a big puncher. I just see him as a big guy who can punch. I mean, he's over 300 pounds. Yeah, he should be able to knock a person out. He's over 300 pounds. But I would think to be effective, he would have to get down, lose some of that weight, you know. But if it's working for him, it's got him to where he's at. So if he like it, I love it. I think that's going to be a problem in the future. I'm just saying. I think it's going to be a problem in the future because of his age. Because he's only going to get bigger. For the most, like a lot of these fighters, you know, a lot of people in general, as they age, they only get bigger. So he may be 317 now. 2, 3, 4 years from now, he may be 355. You know, that's just how life is. You know, but we shall see. We shall see. Another piece of news. Manny signs with Al Heyman for 2 fights. Interesting. I mean, first it was the Pacquiao-Mayweather announcement of them fighting next year. And then Manny, quote-unquote, signs with Heyman for 2 fights. Okay. If that happens, cool. You know, it's going to be the biggest fight in boxing because the pay-per-views are really, really not what they once were. Once Floyd left, the big paydays, the gargantuan paydays left. I would say that, not the big paydays, but the gargantuan paydays left. Canelo's the face of boxing, but it doesn't really, it's not really translating into the sales that they were accustomed to with Mayweather, which is probably, you know, that's a hard act to follow. They shouldn't even go by that model, to be perfectly honest. But I can understand it because in boxing, you went from Sugar Ray Leonard to, I would say first Muhammad Ali to Sugar Ray Leonard to Oscar to Muhammad Ali, Sugar Ray Leonard, Mike Tyson, then Oscar, then Floyd, and now Canelo. So you always figuring they're gonna have that big cash cow, and I don't think Canelo's that big cash cow. It's just he's a cash cow, but not what people are looking for as far as the next one. But who knows? He might be killing it globally, or endorsements and whatnot. You know, so maybe not. Whatever. Now we got to get to this joint right here: Benavidez and Crawford. So way in the day, Benavidez pushes Crawford. Crawford swings on him and misses. And you know, people are talking about this. Here's my 2 cents on this whole thing. And we're going to go back a little bit. This fight started about 8-9 months ago, when Benavidez was talking crazy to Bud, and it was some boxing related event, and Bud told him, focus on your fight before you don't make your fight, like, because we could take it outside. He basically punked him. He punked him and he checked him at the same time. And I think Crawford was like, oh, I'm gonna hurt you. Like, I'll hurt you. There's no questions about it. And the way he got checked, and the way his Benavidez's people was trying to, in some ways, calm Bud down. They kind of acquiesced to who was the bigger dog at the time. So I think that had been stewing in Benavidez this whole time. And he wants to get his manhood back, just in my opinion, because that's a shot to the ego. That's a real shot to the ego. So they both made weight, so the fight is on. They've been talking as of late, recently, even in the lead up yesterday, and Benavidez was talking, and Bud was like, all right, we're going to see. We're going to fight, whatever. And some people I saw commenting when Bud swung on Benavidez, like, Crawford is mental, like he's got in his head. And I'm thinking to myself, yeah, he probably did. He really pissed Bud Crawford off. He pissed Terrence Crawford off. But Terrence Crawford doesn't strike me as the kind of guy who loses his ability to hurt you if he don't get flustered when he get angry. I think he goes to embarrass you when he gets angry. And back in the day, I used to point out some things about fights, and when I say fights are over, and one of the very things I would say all the time is, when somebody tells the other person to stand there and fight me like a man, and stand there and fight and don't run, that's a telltale sign that you're not ready. Because what you're saying is you can't go get him. If he did run, you can't go get him. If he did box, you're unprepared. Don't ever tell a fighter what you want. When you tell your opponent what you want them to do, and to ensure that you'll win, you're basically saying, I need you to help me beat you. And that always rubs me the wrong way. And I always point it out, because I'm like, the fight's over. The fight is over. And in my opinion, it's the same thing. The fight is over. Just because you got him angry does not mean he's just going to stand there toe-to-toe with you and just throw punches all day. That's not how he fights. And if you thought you was going to mess with his pride to the fact and tick him off to the point where he's just going to stand in the middle of the ring and y'all going to play Rock'em Sock'em Robots, you stupid. But at the weigh-in, they basically do the standoff, the stare down. Both of their heads are they forehead to forehead, edging for position, and Benavidez pushes him. Bud swings, he misses. Benavidez has some good reflexes on that. He whoa, and the whiff. But in my opinion, it's like, man, you shouldn't have done that. Like, everybody knows Bud Crawford got a temper. Everybody knows that Bud is a dog. And if you're trying to establish that you're the big dog on the campus, I understand. Do your thing. But in my opinion, Terrence Crawford, in his mind, he already beat you 8 months ago. When your people had to say, okay, chill out, Bud, like, please, because I guess I'm embellishing too much when I say please, but basically they didn't want no smoke, they didn't want no problems. So that let Crawford know, okay, eventually we're gonna fight because you tick me off, but I already know you don't want no smoke. You don't really want no problems. Your people don't want this problem. So mentally, it's already over with. Physically is what happens in the ring, because Crawford has basically said over the last few months, I'm gonna make you suffer. And that could be a good thing and a bad thing. Can he get caught? Yeah, anybody can get caught. Benavidez has a good chance of, you got to get out fast because everybody knows Terrence Crawford is a notoriously slow starter. So the question is, did you get him riled up enough to start fast, or did you get him riled up enough that, you may get an extra round before he figures you out? That's basically the ultimate question at the end of the day, because if he starts off where he starts fast, it's over. It's over. It's not. You done, son. It's over, son. It's over, son. Done. But we shall see. In this fight, I'm picking Crawford by stoppage by the ref. I don't think he's going to try to knock him out. I think he's going to beat him until somebody else stops the fight in about 7. I think he's going to really make an example out of Benavidez for this. And I think he's been waiting to do this. So, the build-up was beautiful, though. ESPN, you got a show on your hands, baby. But that's what it is. So, we're done for the day. Y'all follow us on all these platforms. Tell us what you think. Rate and review. Thank you guys for sticking with us for so long, man. We working a lot. So, it's not as... we trying... I know we've been on and off, and not being able to do it together on and off because we're working a lot, folks. And, but we're going to keep bringing you the best that we bring you. And just thank you. I hope you enjoy it. One love to y'all. This is where the fighters fight and the fans commentate. And we do it just like that from the cheap seats because we ain't buying no tickets, goddammit. Peace.
Please believe that I'll never be shamed again. Again, I'll be the next heavyweight champion. Call me crazy, but no one can fade me. I'm the product of the projects, lost and crazy. Throw your hands up, Mr. Bruno. Ride, Big Mike Tyson about to brutalize that ass tonight. No hesitation for the whole nation. I'll beat that ass so bad I'll probably violate probation. Through demonstration as I strategize information. Intent to kill, so it's real like I'm catching cases.